On this Tuesday, I'm Alex Wilson.
I'm Dave Schwartz. Well, another active afternoon with storms ongoing in several states. Like 8, maybe? I mean, 67 million Americans are at risk through tonight.
It is the latest round of rough weather. It's brought us some incredible sights like
severe winds and isolated tornadoes, damaging hail, and they extend from western Pennsylvania all the way back to, well, Arkansas.
Yeah, we've got some major metro areas from Pittsburgh and Charleston, West Virginia, over towards Lexington, Kentucky. We head further off towards the south, and we watch Knoxville, Nashville, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Atlanta, Georgia, Birmingham, Alabama, and even the Memphis, Tennessee area.
Good to see that Cincinnati is cleared for the All-Star game. Well, let's get to the lab where storm specialist Carl Parker has the updated tracks and timing.
Play across parts of New York, northwest Pennsylvania, parts of northeast Ohio, getting down into West Virginia, northern Virginia, the Baltimore area, and then into parts of Kentucky and southwest Virginia, even a little bit of eastern Tennessee. So flooding could be an issue as these storms have brought heavy rainfall. And anytime you get a few rounds of storms, you've already got a saturated ground, and so that water can pile up. And as you've heard Carl mention, when we look at these areas like southeastern Kentucky, southern West Virginia, it's a fairly hilly, mountainous region. So when you have that water fall, it funnels into some of those valleys. So that is just an additional problem. Storms rolling through central PA, south central New York, around Elmira. We've got those storms rolling through and south the Charleston, West Virginia area into parts of Kentucky. Here's where we've got active warnings. We've got one well off towards the south and west of Albany, and this area through the southern tier, north central PA, and then a few more warnings down south of Charleston. Today, the best chance of severe thunderstorms, and tonight will be in the areas in red. Now, by tomorrow, closer to the coast, that's where we'll watch for the scattered rain showers and the scattered thunderstorms. Even by Wednesday night, still parts of Delaware and Jersey and Maryland, southern Maryland, Long Island, getting into coastal sections of New England. This is where we can continue to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms. In Buffalo, here's the forecast moving forward. A few spotty thunderstorms possible into the early morning hours of your Wednesday. Otherwise, expecting partly cloudy skies. And in New York, we stay cloudy through the overnight, by mid-late morning, and even lunchtime tomorrow. Through the afternoon as well, some hit or miss storms a possibility. Dave.
A heck of a start to the week, huh? Tornadoes, flooding. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Dave Schwartz with Alex Wilson.
And we've got storms rolling through much of the country today. Almost 250,000 people left in the dark without power because these have been producing some really strong wind gusts.
Let's take a look at the watch.
Derecho. Other people say maybe not. So you're going to kind of explain, was this not a derecho? Because we missed one criteria.
Yeah, a derecho is basically a long-lived windstorm, and this certainly was that. It's a mesoscale convective system, a complex of thunderstorms, and these are the radar images all put together, and you can see how long this thing was going on. I mean, starting up there in North Dakota and Minnesota, dropping down through the Wisconsin, right down into the lakes in the Ohio Valley. So a very long-lived event. And so one of the things we're looking for is it a long area? And it certainly was a very long area. Are we consistently seeing reports of wind damage all along that area? So is it consistent in terms of timing and consistent in terms of area? And it was that. You've got 400 wind reports between Sunday and Monday all across those states. Now, the issue comes in with this one criteria about the high-end wind reports. And if you look on the Storm Prediction Center's webpage, where they talk about derechos, they list several 75-plus wind reports, 75-mile-per-hour wind reports
to be scattered
that are widely scattered about. Exactly right. And that there was a paper that came out in 2005 that says that they want to drop that. They want to get rid of that because there are going to be a lot of areas that aren't as highly populated, and so it's going to skew more into situations where these storms cover populated areas.
Where there's more observation sites, more data being collected.
Yeah, so that makes sense. You know, maybe the other side of the argument is that if you've got a lot of wet ground, and there's a lot of wet ground through here, we know that there's been all kinds of rain, then it's not going to take as much wind to bring a lot of trees down. And the vast majority of these reports are trees down.
Each one of those likely a report of a downed tree. So kind of an interesting point that you made, because I think a lot of people thought if it looks like a derecho, if it sounds like a derecho, but you know, you make that good point. The saturated ground, could that have played into maybe making it a little easier to get the score.
And so, what I'm wondering is, is it that the Storm Prediction Center agrees with this idea of getting rid of that criteria for the highest end wind, and they just haven't changed their website? Or is it that they're still, clinging to this idea, which is not a bad idea, because that sort of reserves it for the highest end wind events? Because there are a lot of these mesoscale convective systems that come down every year, and we don't want to call every one of them a derecho. We want to kind of hold that for the biggest of events, the ones that really cause a lot of damage. Now, obviously, there was a lot of damage with this. So, I think it probably could fairly be called a derecho, but then there's this question of, is it one of those really high-end wind events?
Or is it just a very, very powerful, long-lived squall line? And you reached out to the Storm Prediction Center, so we'll have to see what they say, what they think in regards to that several, big distance between 75-mile-per-hour plus reports.
It is going to be very interesting to see what they say about that. And so going through the rest of tonight, we're going to see another one of these squall lines dropping down into the Atlanta metro. There is the model taking it forward. A lot of wet weather in North Georgia, and then it all goes away overnight tonight, and we get a little bit of a break there. But
for the
in the
morning
meantime,
commute, which will be nice.
Exactly right. But there's the area of concern for severe weather going through the rest of tonight, mostly looking at damaging wind potential, but obviously heavy rain in a lot of areas where we have seen a lot of heavy rain. So that's going to be a big worry too.
Yeah, something to keep in mind. Flash flooding is still a concern. We've got flash flood watches posted, several flash flood warnings into parts of West Virginia. And, you rightly pointed out, these hilly